Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar on your frequently asked questions through support. My name's Chris and I am the customer support manager here at Market Dojo, and today I have Pete with me.
Hello everyone, I'm Pete. I'm a Senior Business Development Manager at Market Dojo. Been at the company about 5 years and today is my first webinar.
Are you excited?
I'm very excited, a little bit nervous as well though, so please be nice and gentle with me, please, Chris.
Always. So today we're just going to go through some of my most common support queries I got over the last few months, just to help everyone going forward and show how you can resolve these problems on your event. So we could go on to the next slide when you're ready.
So first one for you, Chris. Why doesn't the invite email my participant received work?
The main reason really for us is the password. No, the invite email has a one-time only link, and quite a lot of times we notice your supplier or participant will click on this link and see they got to sign up and then go, I'll come back to this later and do it. When they do come back to it later, they click on the link and it brings up the below screen where it's asking them, oops, you already have an account. So even though they've never created an account, the link's over and done with really. So there's two options really. One is to send them a new invite through the tool, or the second one is if you ask them to press reset password and they put their email address in, it will send them a password reset email. If they follow this, it will bring them back into the loop of creating their account and accessing your event. But this is generally why this happens. It's because of the one-time only link. And then can we go on to the next slide, please? So a question for you, Pete, is how can I delete a bid on my simple lot event?
Okay, so this one is more of the common questions and it's mainly due to human error. So a supplier may have put a bid which is too high or too low. And if you see from this, the GIF here, to delete the bid, just click on the RFQ tab. That will give you a bit of a pop-up on there. And then on the bid that you don't want and you want to delete that one, just click delete and that will disappear. And that's as easy as that. And on the GIF here, you can see anything that's blue and underlined, you can click into that. So that'll give you a little bit more information on the bid itself or the participant. And that's really it, how to delete a bid.
Nice and simple.
Okay, so my participant has registered, however, they can't see my event.
Another common one involving invite emails is someone will receive an invite. Just say I received an invite to an event, and then I ask Pete to sign up and join. When Pete creates his account, he won't see the event because the invite has been linked to my email address and not Pete's. So some people will log in thinking that they'll be able to access the event because they work in the same company, but it doesn't work like that at all. So what they can do is within the invite email they have, there should be an invite code where if they use the invite code, you'll then get asked to approve them into the event and they can join it that way, or just invite their email address. So invite Pete as well as me, and then he will have the invite as well. Next slide, please. How do I reopen a questionnaire for a participant?
Okay, so this one is usually asked when a participant has just made a mistake. So they might have just said they can't do something when they actually can. So they message you just to say, can we resubmit, please? We've done it wrong. So easy way to do that is go to the questionnaire tab of the questionnaire they're asking. Click that, that will pop up. And then we can see here at the bottom of the participant, just change it from change status to allow resub. And that will send a message to the supplier and they can take part again in that questionnaire. It's easy as that for that one. Next slide, please. What does it mean by email blocked on the participant tab?
I seem to have a lot of questions here about invite emails, don't I? So the email blocked is a range of reasons, but essentially it just means the invite email has not gone to your participant. This could range from the email address being incorrect, there's a spam filter in place, or the emails have just been blocked. What I would recommend on this one is to resend the invite to them. If it's still coming up after sending the re-invite, the new invitation, email us or start a live chat with us at support, and then we can check with our mail provider to find out what's going on. But before you come to us, I would always recommend to resend the invite, because sometimes it just gets held up, the original email, and that initial one email fails, but the follow-up emails sometimes goes through. So always try that before coming through. But if you do come through to us, I'll be more than happy to help. Next slide, please. How do I extend the deadline on my questionnaire, Pete?
Could be a number of reasons for this one. It could be a mistake on your side as the host. It could be a mistake from the participant side. They might just not have done the questionnaire in time, so you want to extend that. So to do this, you just go to the initial settings tab, scroll down to the questionnaire which you'd like to extend. You can see on the GIF there's a deadline. Just move the deadline to whenever you want it, an hour's time, a day's time, a week's time, and that's that. Click send, update, and the message has gone out to the suppliers and given them the update.
On the back of this, I did have a question about this one earlier, and just to let everyone know, it's opens the deadline for all your participants. It's not just if one person wants it open, you can't just extend the deadline for one person. It will open it for all your suppliers in your event. Just sorry, Pete, I just thought
Oh, good point, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you.
How do I resend an invite to a participant?
Another invite email question. So on this one, if you go onto the participants tab and then click on the participant you wish to send a new invite to, it'll bring up the pop-up box here, and at the bottom there it says resend invites to. You can either select that individual participant who has requested this, or if you've got a larger event and there's a lot of participants who haven't accepted your invite yet, you can click all unresponded, and that will send a new invite to anyone who hasn't accepted the invite yet. So it's entirely up to you which one you choose. But if you just want to do it to the one person, just click this participant and that will send them a brand new invite. Next slide, please. Pete, how do I clone an event from the sandpit to the live site?
Oh, we get this one quite a lot. We'd always recommend that you test your first event in the sandpit. And the reason we say to do that is because you can build your event and you can actually take part as a supplier. So you can see if it works well for you, but also if it just makes sense from the supplier side. So you can see on the next slide how we can do that. So you just click create event as you would for any event, but rather than create new event, choose the clone event option, find the event which you've built, so you can do the text search, decide what you want to clone from that event, and then just click clone. And that will create a copy of event, and you just need to change the name and it's all ready to go. Just need to invite your new real suppliers. Next slide, please. How do I send a participant a new password reset email? Another sign up one for you, Chris.
Seems to be a general theme with this. On the sign up page, there's a button which says password reset. And if you go onto the next page, put in their email address and then click send. And then if there's passwords, if their email address is on our system, it will send them a password reset email. That's nice and simple as that, but I do get quite a lot of queries about this. And Pete, what is a pre-qualification questionnaire?
This is also a common one, as if you set a pre-qualification without realizing, you can block some suppliers from going through to the next stage. So a pre-qualification is essentially used to gate the content. So an example might be an NDA. So if you want your suppliers to complete an NDA before they go through to a next questionnaire stage or even the tender stage, then have the pre-qualification. The supplier has to complete that. You have to agree that they've passed it. Once they go through and they're passed, then they can access the rest of the event. That's really easy to do. You can see here on the GIF, you just click under the deadline, do you want pre-qualification? Tick yes, and that's it, that's him. And if you don't want it, just untick it. The suppliers can go straight through to the next stage. How can I or my participants contact Market Dojo support?
Great question. When you're on the tool, there's a little widget in the bottom right hand corner which says Help Dojo. If you click on that, I might just wait for the GIF to catch up here so it makes a bit more sense. But yeah, you could also email support@marketdojo.com. But yeah, when you click on the Help Dojo, at the top there's a Contact Us button with the option to chat to Market Dojo. If you send the chat, we're here 9 till 5, sometimes earlier, sometimes later. But yeah, and then one of the good things about our live chat it's linked with Google Translate. So I'm generally the one always on the live chat, and any language any of your participants speak in, if they type it in French, for example, it will auto translate for me in English, and then I can write back in English and it will translate to them in French, and it does
What
all the
about
languages in
Chinese,
the world,
Chris?
even
Does it work?
Chinese,
Oh,
which the languages I've gone through the last few weeks: Vietnamese, Portuguese, Danish, Swedish, and I don't really know what I'm writing. It's just coming through for me. And then
what's your
obviously,
average response time, Chris, as well? It's pretty quick, isn't it?
what, on live chats?
Yeah.
It's first reply time in about 6 seconds, but I don't like to gloat about it really. And then our average first reply time via emails during working hours is 0.16 hours, which is also nice and quick. And then general across the board, it's around 1.5 hours any time of the day. So it's something to be proud of, I suppose. And then
Pretty
yeah, you
impressive.
could always email. Sorry,
Pretty impressive.
thank you, Pete. And then yeah, you could also ask a question on our Market Dojo community, which we've recently released. Next slide, please. So this is our Market Dojo community. It's like we kind of want our user base to use this. So it's like an open forum, so you can ask a question on there where anyone here at Market Dojo can answer your question, but you could also get other people, other users to answer your questions. So it's a good way to try and find tips on how to use the tool and how other people benefit from the tool. So yeah, if you have any questions or even want to see what's on there, please go onto our Market Dojo community and feel free to ask questions. Next slide, please. So yeah, that's the end of our most common questions. If you did have any questions you want us to answer yourself, I probably should have said this at the start. If you can ask the questions through the tool and submit them, and then me and Pete shall answer. Pete, do you have any questions at all while we wait and see if any are coming through?
There's one question that I get, which is mainly for you after people have spoken to you, Chris, and that is, are you single?
Oh, thanks, Pete. No, I am happily married, thanks, Pete. Are you single, Pete?
I'm not, no. I'm not.
A lot of broken hearts. I have a question for you, Pete.
Yeah.
What is the most memorable event you can remember seeing through Market Dojo?
My most memorable event, I was involved in an auction for onions one year. So I'd never been involved in food tender before. However, this onion tender, which I'd been very involved in building, helping, providing the support, managed to save, from a £500 event, saved £30,000 of onions in that year.
That's a lot of onions.
Yeah, so I've always remembered that. That's quite memorable for me. Any for you?
Well, no, not really. The Ed Sheeran guitar auction was quite an interesting one we done for charity. That got a lot of press coverage because obviously it was during his last tour, which was global, wasn't it? And we had a lot of interest from people globally. So that was an interesting one to help build and help participate in. The only annoying thing is I wasn't allowed to take part in the event myself because I knew what the winning bids were. But at the same time, that was a good thing. So the wife couldn't bid on it, which is a good thing. And we do have a question that's come through. Is, can I create an event and then allow my colleague to take over or even view the event? Yeah, you could do this. If you create an event and then in the admin's permission in the top right hand corner of your screen, if you click on that and then go into host permissions, you can add your colleague and then you can give them view or edit access to your event. And then within your settings tab of your event, when you create it at the bottom in the settings tab, when it's in edit mode, it's got like a drop down. It shows that you're the owner. If you wish to move the owner to someone else, just change it to someone else, click save, and the ownership moves. If you do need any help with that question at all, feel free to start a live chat to come through. That is the best way to do it, isn't it, Pete?
Yes, yeah, I'd agree with that, Chris. Yeah, good answer.
Thank you. Yeah, so yeah, if you do have any questions, feel free to send them across. While we're waiting, Pete, what are you having for your tea tonight?
A bit of chicken and pasta, I think, today. Trying to be quite healthy after not a very healthy weekend. So just a bit of plain chicken. What are you having?
A lasagna.
Oh, nice. I
Just
can't have cheese, so I won't have lasagna.
sorry. We do have another question that's come through. Is I'm new to e-auctions. What category should I start with?
Oof, this could be completely dependent on you. Depends on what category you're looking for. We probably see a very common category that people will start with would be IT, and that's just because there's high supplier liquidity and the spec. It's really easy to spec that out. So it depends on if you want a cheap laptop for £100, you can find suppliers. If you want top spec MacBooks with the M1 chip, then you can find that as well. So you can use any category as long as you've got the supplier liquidity and the spec, you can do it. But the most common is probably IT hardware. We've got another question as well saying, does Pete know how to make French onion soup? I don't know how to make French onion soup. So whoever's asked that question, if they want to post that to peter.glass@marketdojo.com, they can do. And I'll have a go at making it. Maybe I can do the webinar on the next one, how to make onion soup.
Oh, sign me up already. Another question that's just come through is, do all users have access to the support function? Yes. Okay, I'll do a bit more on that. Yeah, every user on the tool has access to the live chat. They also have the same access to emailing us and the same support, and that all users get the same response time. We don't have a hierarchy. So if any of your users have problems, they can start a live chat and we'll be there to answer as well. Pete, probably a question for you here is, what's the most successful event you've seen in terms of savings?
In terms of savings, it's probably a metallic fasteners auction. It was quite a complex lot, predicted across 5 years. The event itself was for an American company, can't really say who they are, cost them $775, and their predicted savings across 5 years just for non-metallic fasteners was $50 million. So it had quite a high return on investment. And the guy who ran the event actually got a promotion on the back of it, which was really good. It was nice to hear. It's good feedback for us that it's not just savings. Genuinely, people are benefiting from our software. And then they decided to move on with a couple of annual licenses, which made it worthwhile for us as well, which is really nice to see.
It's not a bad saving from $775, is it?
It was very good, yeah. Very good.
So I just got a question come through. Will there be any reporting functionality in upcoming releases? At the moment, we can only download the participant summary. Would be good to have timestamp statuses, for example. That's quite a good idea, actually, isn't it? Be nice to see when someone does specific things. So to your answer, not yet. I shall raise these after this call with our technical team, and I'll take the praise for them. But I think that's a great idea that you be timestamped to see what's happening. So what I'll do after the call is I'll reach out to you, just get a bit more information to what you'd like to see as well, and then I'll most certainly raise that our end.
Good question.
Yeah, so if you do have any more questions, we'll give it another minute or so. Just a bit of feedback. They said, feel free to take the credit for that idea to me. I'll take that. Thank you. it doesn't look like we've got any other questions coming in. I don't have any questions for you, Pete. Do you have
No,
any
no more
questions
for
for
you.
me?
Thanks, Chris. No.
Well, thank you all for your time. If anyone does have any questions afterwards, please email support@marketdojo.com and I'll be here to help. Or what's your Twitter, Pete?
Procurement Pete, @Procurement Pete. You can tweet me, LinkedIn me, or I'm even on Instagram actually. Yeah, look at some nice procurement pictures.
Be on there straight away. But yeah,
Yeah.
thank you all for your time. And as I said, any questions, please get in touch.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.